Welcome. I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cars, a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator coming to you from Southeast Iowa. Gosh, I'm a couple minutes late. I haven't been here live for a while, and I had to reconnect one of the channels, but I should be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So as you jump on, say hi and let me know where you're watching from. I am so happy to be here with you today, and I have a fun class to share with you. It is a flash class, and hello there. Good to see you. So I'm going to be having some sneak products and the products you don't have to wait too long because they will be available on Tuesday, March 3rd. So I'm going to be sharing some new products and some favorites. So I've kind of combined those together. And my flash class how it's different than my other classes to go and my clubs. From upstate New York. All right. Is it cold and snowy there? Here in Iowa, it is not. It's been in the 40s, so it's been colder, but it's not too bad right now. But I know you've gotten a lot of snow, or some places in New York has anyway. All right, back to my flash class. So if you would like to take the flash class, and I will be sharing more about that, you don't have very long to sign up. You have now today through Wednesday, March 4th, and then I will order the product. I will pay for expedited shipping, and then this class ships out on Monday, March 9th. So the flash class is a little bit quicker turnaround because, like my clubs, you sign up and then you have to wait, almost a month before you get that club. So this is a little bit quicker. So it's cold in New York. Well, oh. So let me show you one of the sneak peeks, and we're going to be using garden poetry. So when I turn the camera down, this is really pretty designer series paper, and it will be available on Tuesday, March 3rd. And I'm going to be using Impressions of Bloom. And this is a stamp set that has been out for a while. So this is one of my favorites. So this class will include this stamp set. So if you take this class, you will get this stamp set sent to you along with the supplies to make 4 cards. So all you're going to need for this class are ink pads and adhesive. And maybe some dimensionals if you're like me, you like to pop things up, right? Okay, well, let me turn the camera down so we can get started and I can share these cards with you. Now, I may just make 3 of the 4 cards, um, but as I said, this paper is really, really pretty. You have a lot of floral on one side, and then on the back, you don't have so much pattern. And as you can see, I've been using it. So the package comes with 2 sheets of each design. So 2 sheets of 6 designs. In the kit, you will get a half a pack. So I'm trying to keep the cost down. So you will get a half a pack of this beautiful paper in your kit. And you will also, as I mentioned, get the stamp set, get the supplies for 4 cards. You have a recipe tutorial for the 4 cards that we're going to make today. Plus, I have used Impressions of Bloom for another class, and you'll also receive the 4 tutorials for that class too. So you're going to have a total of 8 tutorials. You have a kit to make 4 cards. You're going to get a package of the linen thread that I'm using today, plus these brand new embellishments. They are garden epoxy dots. And let me show you how fun they are. Not only are they bright colors, but you have solids, and then you have like stars. They look like stars, and I don't think that I can do that justice. So our first card that we're going to make is a fun fold. And it's a thank you card. Thanks for being there. So I'm going to go ahead and now you'll have all the pieces cut, except you will need to cut your own designer series paper, but I'm going to give you half a pack. So you'll be able to do that. Plus, you will be able to have lots left over. So this is the paper that I have chosen. So I wanted to bring in the designer series paper. So I chose the front of this, and the back has part of it's blue and then part of it's green. But I went ahead and used the back of this because I thought it went better with the blueberry bushel. Okay. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and do some stamping first. So let's bring in, we're going to need Secret C and blueberry bushel. So I'm going to start with blueberry bushel, and I'm going to bring in the large flower image on Impressions in Bloom, and we're just going to go ahead and stamp that full strength right here. Hi, Sheila. It's so good to see you too. And then I'm going to come back. This is the solid. So this is a two-step stamping. I think, some two-step stampings are a little trickier than others, but this one is an easy one. So I'm going to stamp off because I want it a little bit lighter. And then I am just going to hover over that first image. And the tip here, notice how one comes out a little bit, that one little leaf or petal comes out. So that's how you can line that up a little bit easier. And I might need these again, so I suppose I should probably clean them, right? And then I'm going to use the Secret C. I think this has become my favorite color. I use it a lot. And I'm going to put that little large center of Secret C right here in the middle. And then I'm going to come back with thanks. And I'm going to go ahead. Now you could use blueberry bushel, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it over to the right a little bit because I'm going to make it into a banner. And then I'm going to stamp inside. So you'll have a piece of basic white. You actually have two pieces, but notice one has a score line. Okay, so the one that has the score line, we're not going to stamp on. So we're going to stamp on this one here. And I'm going to bring in for being there. So thanks for being there. All right, and now we can put our card together. So I'm going to bring this in. Once again, I have not tested my adhesive, so hopefully I have a good bottle here. So I'm just going to fold that down. And then I'm going to be bringing in my blueberry bushel. Now this blueberry bushel, this is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this piece here, basic white, is 3 by 5 1/2. And then I scored this at the end on the long side at 1/2 inch. So again, it's 3 inches across by 5 1/2. And then I scored it at 1/2. So we are going to just put that right here. So we're going to add some adhesive right along here. we'll find one bottle. There we go. I mean, it's not like we don't have adhesive, right, in our craft room. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold that, and I'm going to try to look and make sure I have about the same on each side of the blueberry bushel showing. I'm looking on the back, and once I have that kind of lined up like I want, then I can use my bone folder. And then we're going to open it up. Now we're going to bring that designer series paper in that I showed you earlier, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. Should have grabbed a new bottle, shouldn't I? It was on my list to do. Maybe that was the one that wasn't working, and this is the one that was. Yes. All right, we're good. We are back in business. Well, hi, Judy. Oh, I'm glad that you like that blue. I know blue is your favorite color, Judy, so I'm glad that you like that large blue flower. And thank you for stopping by. I know it's been a very busy week for you. All right, so now we are going to add a piece of designer series paper on the front, and I've decided to do the pattern paper inside, and we'll do the more plain on the outside. So again, this I don't know if I'll make all 4 cards because I don't want to take that much of your time. I will show you all 4 cards. This is a fun fold. So I love fun folds. I definitely wanted to make this. Excuse me. So we'll make several of these of the cards today. But this is a flash class, and you're going to get supplies to make 4 cards along with the stamp set. Impressions of Bloom is the feature bundle that Impressions in Bloom is the feature stamp set that I am using. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wrap this linen thread around, and I'm going to do it around twice. So I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to come down here like this. And then I think that's about right. So we'll put that. And then we're just going to go ahead and tie a bow here on the side. And we can get that evened up later, get it lined up straight. Then I'm going to hold the center, and then I'm going to pull on that edge. Pull again to kind of make my bow a little smaller. And then we can go ahead and snip those ends just a little bit if we want to. Before we finish the front, let's go ahead and open this up, and let's go ahead and add our basic white insert so we can do our message of that. The only thing you want to do is to check to make sure that it's not showing. All right, and so I'll put this right here. Now, I should probably check again, right? Because I picked it up after, but nope, it looks good. So you can always just make sure it's straight and then press that down. All right, now let's go ahead and turn this over, and let's bring in some dimensionals. So all these cards are kind of bright and cheerful. I tried to use some really bright and spring colors because we're waiting for spring, right? Or I know I am. So we're going to place that right here. And as I mentioned, we're going to make a little banner for this on this end. So I'm just going to cut in the center here. And then I'm going to go from this edge right to the middle. And then I'll do the same over here. Just kind of eye it. May not be perfect, but that's okay. And then I am going to add a dimensional underneath the S of thanks. Just as close to the edge as I can. And then put a little adhesive at the top. And then we will go ahead and I'm going to, the edge of the sentiment right at the edge of the Designer Series paper, the plain blue one, like that. And then I'm going to bring in our embellishments. Now remember, these are not available until March 3rd, so 2 more days, and then you can order these. But this you will have a full pack in your flash class. So I will send a full pack of this in your flash class, along with a full pack of the linen thread. You also will have the stamp set, so that will be included. And I think I will put that right here. So here is our first card. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like the card. So today I didn't have, you can see a little bit more of my desk than usual, but I didn't have time to adjust that today. So I'm just happy to be able to be here and stamp with you. So let's go ahead. And look at our next card that we're going to make. Now I will send you envelopes for each of these cards in your, with your, get that out of the way, in your kit. And we're going to be using this paper here today for this card. Isn't that pretty? I mean, it's not a full sheet because, like I said, I have been using this paper. I really like this Poetry Garden paper is what it's called. So let's go ahead. We're going to be using Pumpkin Pie, Secret Sea, and Crushed Curry. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that. Boy, I just have a mess everywhere, don't I? All right, let's go ahead. And this, the Designer Series paper we're going to use is 3 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to cut 3 1/4. Let's see, how do I want to do that? Three and a quarter. I think I like this side. And then I'm going to turn it and I'll cut 4. And there we go. And we're going to start with our basic card base. And this is Crushed Curry, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then you'll need, you'll have another piece of cardstock cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Let's try that again. You have another piece of cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and it will be embossed for you. This is not embossed, so we'll do it together. But in your kit, all the embossing will be done for you. So any embossing, any die cutting, I've used a circle punch a lot in these cards, so that will already be done for you. So you don't have to do any embossing. And the embossing folder I'm using is Forever Plaid. and it is one of my favorites. So we've got some new, and then we have some favorites. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put the Designer Series paper on first. And the reason for that is if it is a little bit longer, I can always trim it before I add it to my card. Or I guess if it's too short, I could always cut another piece, right? So, and we'll sort of kind of do that in the middle. In the middle, doesn't have to be exact. And then we'll go ahead and we will add it to the front of our card. You can use either side of your embossed piece, so either side works. Okay, I'm going to lay that aside, and we're going to bring in a piece of pumpkin pie. And this pumpkin pie is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. So 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then we have a piece of basic white that is going to layer on top of this. And it is going to be 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. So just an eighth difference in this. So let's go ahead and do some stamping. And I've chosen the date. I call it the daisy. To me, this looks like a daisy when you stamp it. So a little tip. So what I did on this particular stamp, I used a marker. I used a permanent marker, and I marked the tops of them so I would be able to get my 3 inks that we're going to use for this card: Secrecy, Crushed Curry, and Pumpkin Pie. But that way I could, I know how to line them up. The other one, I really didn't feel like I needed to do that. So we're going to start with the one that kind of has rougher like lines on it. And I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to stamp three flowers. So I'm going to come up here kind of on the left-hand corner. And then over kind of on the right. And then the one on the bottom left, if I go off a little bit, that is perfectly okay. And then I'm going to come back with the solid. I say solid because there's not any lines, it's kind of, all flat. But again, I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp on. We'll ink this up again and stamp off. Stamp on. And one more time. Do you think it looks like a daisy? It does to me anyway. And I don't need pumpkin pie again, but I am going to use crushed curry, but let's go ahead and add the centers. So I'm using a little bit smaller, kind of the medium. You have 3 centers. You have kind of large, medium, and small. So we'll just go. Now you could stamp off if you wanted it a little bit lighter. I think on my sample card I did that. And then you'll need a sentiment strip. And my sentiment strip, let's see, is 1 by 3 1/4. So 1 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to use crushed curry, and we're going to say, I appreciate you. So I'm going to bring in, I appreciate you. And we'll ink this up in crushed curry. I'm going to kind of put that in the middle, just like that. And I think for this card, I'm going to cut around the sentiment just for a little something different, kind of little. And so I'm just going to take my scissors, just kind of add some, I don't know, an element, I guess, or I like to do that sometimes. Sometimes I do some tearing too. All right, let's go ahead and put our card together. Let's go ahead and add our basic white layer to our pumpkin pie layer. So with just an eighth, you just have a little bit, it just shows that the pumpkin pie just enough, kind of sets those flowers off, doesn't it? And then we're going to go ahead and turn this over. We're going to bring in dimensionals, and we're going to pop up this layer. I'll just put one in each corner. Then I'm going to put this over on the left, just a little bit more on the left. And then again, once again, I'm going to put my sentiment piece here, but if I glue it down, it's going to like go down the hill. So I need to put a dimensional under the U. And then we will add some adhesive. Don't need very much, but we do want to make sure that it's going the correct way so we can read, "I appreciate you." So we'll put that right there. Then I'm going to bring in our linen thread, and we're just going to tie just a regular bow, which I could have done before, but I didn't think to do that. That would save us some time, wouldn't it? Sometimes when I tie bows, I'll leave it on the roll, so then I feel like I know exactly how much I need. And I'm going to take these and I'm just going to kind of pull on them, kind of get them like I want. Bring in glue dot. And we will put that just about right there. And then I can clip those just a little bit more. And bring in our epoxy dots again that will be available on March 3rd. And so we have some with stars and you have some that are plain. So let's go ahead and use the plain ones. I'll put one up here. And so we'll make one more card and then I'll show you all 4 cards. So this flash sale is going to have a half a pack of this beautiful paper that I'll send you, a full pack of these dots and linen thread. You will have the supplies to make the 4 cards. You will also get the stamp set, Impressions of Bloom. We also need a basic white layer for the inside. And I don't see that right here, so let me grab one. But you will have that in your kit. And it will be 3 3/4 by 5. And of course, you could always stamp a message or another daisy in here before you put your basic white layer in. You also will receive like 8 tutorials. So you have the recipe cards, and that just you have all of you have pictures, you have all the measurements and everything you need, and then 4 full tutorials for 4 other cards that I'm not making today. All right, here's our second card. So let me know. Here was our first card, and here was our second card. Okay, we'll make one more card, and I'll show you all of them. Let's make the other fun fold. So I have 2 fun folds and 2 that are not fun folds. So this is a bookbinding card. Thanks. I appreciate you. So let's make this card next, and then I'll show you all the cards. We're going to start with a Flirty Flamingo card base, and this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And then let's go ahead and do some scoring. So this is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. One sheet of cardstock will make 2 card bases. And then we're going to score this at 4 1/4 on the long side. My long side's here. And then score it at 5 1/2. And that's the only scoring that you need. So we're going to go ahead and fold it in half on that 5 1/2. And then we're going to fold in on the other score line. And we are going to put adhesive between the 2 score lines. So we're going to put adhesive between the 2 score lines. And then we're going to close the card. Give it a good burnish. And then we're going to pick this back up, and then we're going to fold it back. So that's why they call it a book binding, because it kind of looks like a binding of a book, right? All right, let's go ahead and bring the pieces in. And you'll get all of these pieces to make these 4 cards. You will have to cut your own designer series paper, but you'll have the, all the punches punched out and all of the cardstock and the embossed pieces that you need. Now on this particular card, you have 2 basic white, but they're not the same size. So one is larger than the other. So you have your tutorial though, so you can go by that. So the front layer is going to be the larger one, the 4 by 4. And then you're going to have designer series paper that's going to fit right on top of that. And actually the designer series paper is 4 by 4. I apologize if you're writing down directions. The basic white layer for the front is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So the basic white is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So it's a square. And then your designer series paper is 4 by 4. So we're going to go ahead and just put those together. Should have been up just a little bit more, but we'll just call it good, right? And then we're going to go ahead and layer that right on top of our card. Good thing about being square, you can decide after you get your designer series paper on there which orientation that you want it to be. So the card base is Flirty Flamingo. And then this is more of a poppy parade, but I thought it kind of, gave a little bit of a contrast. But this designer series paper here is 1x4, and then I'm going to layer it on basic white. And this is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. I think if I lay it down, I can get more coverage better. Okay. And then we're going to add that to that book binding. Just like that. Don't forget, I have one. This will be our last card we'll make together, but I have one more card to show you. Then we're going to bring in our linen thread, and we are going to wrap it around. So I'm going to bring it clear up behind here, and I am going to bring that a couple of times. So now you see why you're getting a whole, you'll still have some left over, but you're going to be using quite a bit of linen thread on these cards. So I'm going to wrap it around, and I still need just a little bit more. So I'm going to hold it here, wrap it around, and then I will cut, and I'll tie a bow. I'm going to try to aim for about the middle. There we go. And once again, hold the middle and pull and get your bow about the size that you want it to be. All right. And now let's do some stamping. All right, let's see. We have thanks. I appreciate you. So this is the basic white that goes inside. And it's 4x4, where the basic white on the outside is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So we are going to use Flirty Flamingo ink. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside. And I appreciate you. And we'll do that. Ink that up. I appreciate you. And then I want to grab designer series paper that goes 1 by 4. We want it designer series paper 1 by 4 to go in the bottom. And so, well, it fell on the floor. That will be good enough. I grabbed it So we're going to do 1 by 4. And then we're going to add that down here. That little edge they're showing, so you can always use your bone folder to even those out if you have any little rough edges. And then we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive and add our inside layer. So that Designer Series paper for the inside was 1 by 4, and the inside layer, basic white cardstock, is 4 by 4. And we put I appreciate you. Okay. Then you'll have a circle and you'll have a piece of scrap to stamp on. And we're going to use some garden green. You can use any color green for your leaves. And we're going to use the smallest flower. So in this stamp set, I've used almost all of these stamps to make these 4 cards. There's just 3 little stamps left in here that I haven't used from Impressions of Bloom. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up, and I'm going to stamp about right there. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp on that scrap. But I'm going to come back with the one that goes in the middle. I mean, inside the second, because it's called 2-step stamping. And I'm going to start here because I don't know if there we go. I thought, well, if I didn't get that lined up quite right, we could do that again on the scrap paper, right? Rather than the circle. All right. And then I want to add some leaves. So I'm going to, before I do that, I want to finish using my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to add thanks. Now you can add any sentiment. You can make these into a birthday card by using a different, stamp set and make all of these birthday cards. And then we need the Secret C to add we're going to add leaves. Let's go ahead and add the centers. So, and right here. All right. And now I need garden green. Now this is a 2-step stamp, but you know what? I like just the one. I like that just like it is without doing the 2-step. But you can also do the 2-step. Okay, we're about finished. Let's go ahead. So this is the only card that you're going to actually have to do some fussy cutting. So let me know. Do you like fussy cutting? Yes or no? Because I know, now I like fussy cutting Well, if I don't have to do a lot, I guess. But it's kind of relaxing. But some people do not like to fussy cut at all. And fussy cutting is just another way of saying cutting things out with a pair of scissors. But this is just one flower and two leaves. So it's not that much fussy cutting. And I leave a little bit of white space around because that's what you would, a die usually does that, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and pop. And this circle punch is 2 3/8 that I used, but your circle punch, your circle will already be in your kit. So in the description, I have all the information where you can click and read all the information, everything that comes in this flash class. I want my thanks to be. There we go. All right, and then let's go ahead. I could have done that. I think I'm going to attach our leaves with a glue dot. So I'm going to put a glue dot at the bottom and the front of this leaf using my take your pick tool and doing the same there. And then I will go ahead and just, I guess the glue dot decided to stay in my finger. There we go. So put it there. And we'll put it, and then we'll turn it over. And then we'll add the dimensional, which will kind of help hold those glue dots down too. And then, you know, you can just go ahead and place it wherever you want. Don't want to cover up the thanks. I don't know, maybe I like it over here. We'll just do it right there. How's that sound? And then I'll bring in our embellishments. And again, so the paper and embellishments will be available on March 3rd. Let's go ahead and use these with those little stars, the Flirty Flamingo right here. Let's go ahead and pick that up. And let's just put one right there. And let's put one right here. And one right there. All right, so this is the third card. So thanks. I appreciate you. Let's look at all the cards plus the extra card that we're not making tonight. This is the second card. And this is the first card. So we have two fun folds, bookbinding, and then here is the third card, or the fourth card rather. Thanks so very much is our fourth card. I use Blueberry Bushel and Coastal Cabana. So you have two fun fold cards and two cards that are not fun folds. So which is your favorite? The yellow, the pink, the purple, or the blue? Let me know in the comments which. Oh, Sheila, I'm glad that you like the cards. Well, pull up a chair. It's time. Let me see if it's time for barn chats. So pull up a chair. It's time for a little chat. And thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate that. Thanks for crafting with me. Again, in the description, it will tell you all about how you get this flash class. You do need to sign up through Wednesday of this week, and then it will turn around and be sent to you on Monday, March 9th. So you'll get supplies to make all 4 cards. You get a package of linen thread, the package of the brand new epoxy dots, half a package of the Poetry Garden Designer Series paper. Both of those are brand new. You have envelopes for the 4 cards, and you'll get 8 tutorials. 4 for the cards we made today, and 4 others using Impressions of Bloom. And the best part, yes, the stamp set is included. All right. So again, in this description, you can click and read all of the details about that. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is right now, let me grab it. If you are not a demonstrator and you have thought about it, it's a great time to be a demonstrator, to be part of the Stampin' Up! Community. We just call it demonstrator. But right now they have this joining offer where you will receive in your kit a free our new Stampin' Positioner. So we have a brand new Stampin' Positioner, and this offer runs out on March 2nd. So just today and tomorrow, if you would like to be part of Stampin' Up! Community, then you can join, and they will include that, and that's a $49 value here in the United States, and they will include that in your kit absolutely free. And you pay $99. You pick out 125. That is not included of your 125. You pick out 125 a product, and that is an extra, and that promotion does end March 2nd. So I'd love for you to be part of Rustic Barn Stampers. There's no pressure at all. If you decide you want to get the kit and that's all that you get, that's fine. But you would be part of Stampin'. I'm trying to think, January, February, March. You would be end of June. You would be part of if you signed up now, you'd be part of the Stampin' Up! Community till the end of June without doing anything else, and you could have an option to continue or not. And then you keep everything, plus you get a 20% discount. And so I would love to chat with you if you have any questions. All right. Well, I'm going to close this up and just keep creating, keep connecting. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. If you want to know more about being part of the Stampin' Up! Community, you can reach out to me. If you'd like to know more about this flash class, then there is information in the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. I will talk to you soon. Take care, and bye for now.